you know what's strange? Some Christians are terrified, absolutely terrified, that God might be offended because they prayed while lying in bed. Think about that. Not terrified of hidden sin, not terrified of pride, not terrified of living 6 days disconnected from God and remembering Him for 10 minutes on Sunday. No, they're scared of a pillow. And maybe you've asked it too. Can I pray lying down? Will God still hear me? Am I disrespecting Him? Look, before you click away, stay with me, because the answer isn't what most people think. Actually, let me back up. The bigger issue isn't your position. The bigger issue is your heart. And once you see it, you won't hear this question the same way again. Because here's what a lot of Christians do. Wake up, grab the phone, notifications, texts, Instagram, news, short videos, a worship clip, a motivational quote, another scroll, another scroll, another scroll. And before you know it, you've spent 45 minutes giving your attention to everybody else. Then night comes. You're exhausted. You collapse into bed, eyes half closed. And somewhere between sleep and consciousness, you whisper, "Lord, thank you for today." And then you're gone, asleep before the sentence finishes. Now listen carefully. That does not automatically mean you're disrespecting God. Don't miss this, because some people watching right now just felt guilt hit their chest. You work hard, you're raising kids, you're stressed, you're carrying responsibilities nobody sees. You've prayed exhausted, you've prayed through tears, you've prayed while barely keeping your eyes open. God sees that. He does. But here's where this gets uncomfortable, because some people aren't praying lying down because they're exhausted. They're praying lying down because God slowly became background noise. Ouch, I know, but think about it. You gave Netflix 3 hours. You gave YouTube 2 hours. You gave social media 90 minutes. And God got 40 distracted seconds before sleep. See, now we're not talking about posture anymore. We're talking priorities. Huge difference, because Scripture keeps showing us something people miss. God focuses on the heart, over and over, again and again and again. Listen to this. Voice gets stronger here. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." The heart. Did you catch that? Not appearance, not position, not whether you're standing, not kneeling, not sitting. The heart. You can kneel perfectly and still be spiritually distant. You can raise your hands and secretly perform for people. You can look holy and be completely disconnected inside. God sees deeper than appearances, every single time. Then Jesus says something even sharper. Matthew chapter 6. When you pray, do not be like the hypocrites. Notice what He didn't say. He didn't say, don't pray lying down. He didn't say, don't sit. He didn't say, stand correctly. No, Jesus confronted performance, people pretending, people looking spiritual, people appearing close to God without actually wanting Him. And let's be honest, America knows this problem. Big stages, big lights, big production, sometimes big appearances. Britain knows another version. Quiet religion, tradition, faith kept polite, comfortable, safe, different styles, same danger, looking Christian, without pursuing Christ. Now here's the verse that surprises people. Psalm 63, David says, "On my bed I remember you." Wait, did you hear that? On my bed. Interesting, very interesting. Apparently, heaven isn't offended by mattresses. The issue wasn't where David was. The issue was who David wanted. David wanted God. That's the difference. And that changes everything, because prayer was never supposed to become a ritual checklist. Never. Not sometimes. Not occasionally. Every single time. Prayer was meant to be relationship, real relationship, and relationships don't survive leftovers. Think about your closest friendship. Imagine saying, "Here's 30 distracted seconds before I pass out. Good night." Every day, that relationship dies. Now ask yourself something. Have you slowly started doing that with God? Don't answer too fast, because this isn't condemnation. This is examination. There's a difference. Maybe you're praying exhausted because life hit hard. Maybe anxiety hit hard. Maybe grief hit hard. Maybe depression hit hard. And if that's you, hear me carefully. God is not standing over your bed angry because you're tired. But if your attention belongs to everything else, and God consistently gets whatever remains, you already know what needs to change. You already know. So can you pray lying down? Yes, absolutely. Scripture never forbids it. But maybe that wasn't the real question. Maybe the real question is this. When you pray, does God have your attention? Or does He just receive whatever energy is left? Think about that, because posture never impressed God, but surrendered hearts always have. Subscribe if you want truth that cuts clean.